One of the major problems or attributes, characteristics, that's probably more fitting, that I see within, well, at least within my community, I'd safely say elsewhere as well, is entitlement, self-importance, and entitlement. We're told to deny ourselves and pick up our cross daily. But everybody wants everything. People won't remove themselves from the world, and they figure they must have whatever the world offers, and they think themselves strong enough to be able to fend off, ward off all the evils and the spirits within the world. They're going against God's word. The growth, again, I can't stress enough, the growth, the peace, the joy, the comfort, the strength within myself, my growth in my relationship with God, the understanding of His Word. When I spend time in His Word and in prayer and in conversation with God, when I seek out Jesus daily, that's when things grow. That's when things strengthen. You can't plant a seed and not water it, and wonder why it never grew. Daniel, I was reading Daniel, and I mean, what an amazing book. You can get so much from that. I mean, as far as prophecies and where we are in the end times. You also see the spirit. You see the demeanor and the knowledge and wisdom that Daniel had beyond the interpretation of dreams and it was much deeper than that. I mean, he understood that we must deny ourselves and that we must be faithful and spend time with God, regardless of the outcomes, regardless of the threats on our lives. Regardless. Not too many people are willing. I mean, they can't handle their family chastising them or ridiculing them, let alone the larger picture. I don't think they fully comprehend what's actually. Some of them speak it and say, "Oh yes, I know we're going to face hardships." But hardships to them is if the cable goes down. Or whatever, the sale, oh my, the sale is canceled, whatever it is, that's a hardship. Beyond that, they're not ready for it. Daniel, he was offered Belshazzar, the king Belshazzar said, "Look, I'll give you, robes and position of authority and whatnot. You just interpret this dream." And Daniel said, "Keep it, keep it." He said, "I'll still tell you," but he says, "I don't want it." There's denying self. There's humility. There's knowing your position. There's knowing what's important. And he did so from day one with the food. He said, "No, just water and veg, thanks. Keep all that other stuff." I mean, again, for so many other reasons, for health reasons, and for the fact that, the lesson you could take away from it is also, of denying self. He didn't walk in and at no point, with all the praises that was bestowed upon him, not once did he get lofty and arrogant. And he was humble and he refused things. He accepted his position. He knew what was important in his life. Do you deny yourself? Do you put God first? Do you understand where or who you are in the kingdom? In the kingdom, not in the world. Don't be in the world. He stepped back and he also, they were going to kill all the Chaldeans and the sorcerers and all the other so-called prophets, so-called soothsayers. And he said, no, listen, he says, I'll tell you, but don't kill them. I mean, he stood up for them, knowing the spirit behind them, knowing how evil they were, knowing that. And he said, no, look, he said, he stood up and he said, no. He defended himself through denying himself, if that makes sense. He was quite the man. Quite the man. I mean, something for us to strive for. I don't know, when we read this book, when we read the Bible, does anybody take time to pray and ask for understanding and wisdom, to discernment? Because, I mean, it speaks to you. It is the living word. There is so much to be learned from this. And people just read it. Oh, yeah, I read it, and that's it. And they come away nothing. They have nothing to share, no understanding, and they'll still refute you when you come to them because they don't want to deny themselves. They don't want to remove themselves from the world. Well, I'm thinking, honestly, that's huge. That is big. I mean, there's so many. The walk is so easy once you walk it, but when you're standing outside, I mean, it looks hard. It looks difficult. I mean, I understand that. I was there myself. Obviously, we all have been. But once you start walking it, it becomes easier. There is a path. The path has already been set. So, I mean, you're not going to, you could stumble, but, you know where you have to go. So, I mean, it's not really that difficult once you start walking it and once you're on that path. Oh, I don't know, just rambling at this point. But again, deny yourself, know your position. Please, I mean, it's so important for growth, but for this time, for where we're at, there's be a witness. We need witnesses, and it's witnesses by your action. Your actions speak louder than words. I mean, it is so true. People will watch you. They'll see what's important in your life, where you place your values. God says, wherever you lay your treasures, that's where your heart will be. Well, the people in the world, your neighbors, your family, they watch. They see that too. How can you be a Christian and want everything and try to acquire everything, and then you tell everybody, look what Jesus has done for me. And meanwhile, there's somebody who just has the bare basics, but they're happy. And they tell people, look what Jesus has done for me. He's given me joy. And people go, well, I want the car and the house and the luggz, those boots, whatever it is. Got to have what everybody else has. It's a bad witness, and it's a wrong witness, false. So I don't know. Just God bless you. I just wanted to get this out. It's been heavy on me all day for various reasons. But yeah, God bless you, and love each and every one of you. And until next time.